You know, we're always told to train harder, but what if the real secret is to train smarter? Today we're going to put two of the most hyped up, most brutal intensity techniques right under the microscope, Myo-Reps and drop sets. Yeah, they promise you faster gains, a way to absolutely shatter plateaus, but what does the science actually say when all the hype dies down?
Look, this is the question every single one of us asks. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro trying to break through a wall or if you're just trying to squeeze a killer workout into a crazy schedule. We all want to know, how can we get the absolute best results in the least amount of time? Are these techniques the secret sauce we've been missing, or are they just another trend? Let's find out.
All right, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about that problem every lifter hits. Then, we'll meet the techniques themselves. After that, we're diving into the hard data, separating the hype from reality. Then we'll get to their real superpower. I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to use them, and we'll figure out exactly where they fit in your training.
We've all been there, right? You're hitting the gym, you're training hard, but that awesome progress you saw every single week, well, it starts to slow down to a crawl. Those easy newbie gains feel like a distant memory. And on top of that, life gets busy, and spending 2 hours in the gym just isn't happening. That's the classic lifter's dilemma.
It's just human nature, isn't it? We're wired to look for the quickest way to get to our goal. In the gym, that means we're on this constant hunt for the method, the one that's going to speed things up. And this search for an edge has made a whole category of high-intensity techniques super popular, all promising more bang for your buck and a way to smash through those sticking points.
So this brings us to two of the heavy hitters in advanced training. Both of them promise to kickstart new growth by pushing you way beyond what you thought your limits were. We're talking about the classic drop set and the more structured system we know as Myo-Reps.
Okay, first up, the drop set. I bet a lot of you have tried this one, or at least seen someone making a pained face in the corner of the gym doing it. The idea is simple. You take a set to your absolute limit. I mean, to the point where you cannot do another clean rep. But you don't stop. You immediately strip some weight off, maybe 20%, and you keep going, pumping out more reps until you fail all over again. It creates this one long, grueling, muscle-burning set. And then you've got Myo-Reps. Now this is a much more systematic, more calculated way to do rest-pause training. It was made popular by Norwegian coach Borg Fagerli. It's not just about mindlessly trying to extend a set forever. It's a very specific, structured protocol, and it's designed to get the maximum growth stimulus in a ridiculously short amount of time. The theory behind it is pretty cool, actually.
So what's the big idea behind both of these? Well, it all comes down to this theory of effective reps. This is based on something called Hinnemann's size principle, which is a fancy way of saying your body recruits muscle fibers in order of size. For easy stuff, it uses the small, slow twitch fibers. But when things get heavy or as you get super close to failure, your body has to call in the big guns, the large, powerful, fast twitch fibers. Those are the ones with the most potential for growth. The whole theory here is that drop sets and Myo-Reps keep those big fibers activated for longer, so you can rack up more of those growth-producing effective reps in just one set.
That theory sounds pretty solid, right? Get more of the reps that matter, and you'll get more growth. It just makes perfect sense on paper. But you know how we do it here? We have to look past the theory and ask that tough question. Does this actually work when you put it to the test in a real controlled scientific study? Let's see what the evidence says.
So researchers did exactly that. They got a group of 28 guys, all with at least 2 years of solid training under their belts, and split them up. Group 1 did traditional straight sets with normal rest, Group 2 used drop sets, and Group 3 used a rest-pause method, basically the Myo-Rep protocol. Now here's the most important part. The researchers made sure that the total training volume, the total number of reps, was the same for all 3 groups. That's key.
So what happened? After weeks of training, they measured the changes in muscle thickness and strength. And the results were, well, pretty much identical. All 3 groups, no matter which technique they used, saw similar increases in both muscle size and strength. Yeah, you heard that right.
So the big takeaway is this. When total training volume is matched, these so-called advanced techniques don't seem to build any more muscle than good old-fashioned straight sets. They're not some kind of magic bullet for getting bigger. And this isn't just from one study either. This has been backed up by multiple scientific reviews looking at all the available evidence. Right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, so what's the point? Why would I go through all that pain if it doesn't even build more muscle? And that is a totally fair question. But this is where things get really interesting. Because when we look past just the muscle growth numbers, we find the true and honestly the incredibly valuable superpower of these techniques.
And here it is. This is the real game changer, time. While the muscle growth was the same, the time it took to get there was wildly different. The research shows that a workout using rest pause or drop sets can be done in a tiny fraction of the time. In some studies, the same amount of work got done more than 7 times faster. That's not a small difference. That's a massive, massive leap in efficiency.
But it's not just about saving time. Because you're getting that powerful stimulus with lighter weights, these techniques can be way easier on your joints and tendons. They're also an awesome tool for breaking a plateau. If you're stuck, adding volume with Myo-Reps can give you that new stimulus you need without adding another 30 minutes to your workout. And finally, they're a really safe way to learn how to train to true muscular failure, especially on machines, which helps you learn where your real limits are.
Okay, enough theory, let's get practical. If you want to use this stuff, you have to do it right. We're going to use Myo-Reps as our main example here, just because it's the most structured and repeatable protocol of the bunch. The process is precise, but it's simple. You start with what's called the activation set. Pick a weight you can handle for about 15 to 30 reps, and you take that set just 1 or 2 reps away from total failure. The goal is to get all those muscle fibers firing. Then you rack the weight and take a really short rest, like 5 to 15 seconds. Think 3 to 5 deep breaths. After that, you start your mini sets. You'll do 3 to 5 reps, rest for that same short period, and repeat. You keep going for up to 5 mini sets, or until your performance drops and you can't hit your target reps anymore.
Now, to really nail this, you gotta manage the variables. The weight needs to be light enough for that high rep activation set, and this technique works best on isolation or machine exercises. Think cable flies, lateral raises, leg extensions. Trying this on a heavy squat is not just gonna wreck your whole system, it's a recipe for bad form and injury. And remember, this is intense. Use it sparingly, maybe for the last 1 or 2 exercises of your workout to avoid burning yourself out.
And please, be careful to avoid these common mistakes. The biggest one is going too heavy on that first set. It just kills your performance on all the mini sets that come after. Also, as you get tired, it's easy to get sloppy. Don't. Keep every single rep clean. That short rest is critical, so don't let your 10-second rest turn into a 30-second break. And finally, don't get so excited that you start using this on everything every day. That's a fast track to burnout.
So after looking at the science, the real-world benefits, and how to do it, what's the final verdict? Are Myo-Reps and drop sets something you absolutely have to have in your program, or are they just another tool?
Look, this isn't about one style being better than the other. It's about having a full toolkit and knowing which tool to use for which job. Traditional straight sets are still the undisputed king for building raw strength and for making progress on your big, heavy lifts like squats and deadlifts. But these intensity techniques, they are an incredibly powerful tool for the right situation. When you're short on time, when you need to bust a plateau on an isolation lift, or when you want a great stimulus while giving your joints a break.
And this really brings us to the most important question of all. The true power of these techniques isn't magic, it's consistency. They give you a brutally effective option for those days when you only have 30 minutes, and you might have just skipped the gym otherwise. Because the perfect workout you don't do is completely useless. The highly efficient workout you can actually stick to week in and week out. That's what really builds a great physique in the long run. Remember, science is constantly evolving. To not miss the next scientific analysis and protocol, don't forget to turn on notifications and subscribe. See you in the other videos. Let's meet in the comments about what topic we should talk about in the next video.